Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. We'll continue exploring Vue 11 and we look actually on the effectors for the particles. The effectors is special type of the forces that can influence behavior of the particles. Let's go ahead and first we'll create a plane. What I'm going to do, it will be our emitter. Technically in Vue you can use almost anything that can use ecosystem as an emitter, and you can check from our tutorials when we actually even painting the emitters on the surface, creating different shapes, so you have very much a lot of fun with this. But right now, for the example, so see how the effectors will work, we'll just use plate. I'm going to open material editor, add ecosystem particles, go ahead and adding just as test, I'll go add them kind of the blue balls for these ones. Next, enable particle motion, and I'm going to pop up a little bit scaling and reduce density as well to just set single emitter. So what it does is create this kind of elements for this, and we can preview how they work. You notice they will going kind of down. For this one, check and change motion, so I'll go to set 1 right here. We'll click OK and switch this one, probably set to about 10 meters. So let's go back and we can preview. It's going up high right here and it's going down. So we can see how the effectors will work. You know what, let me decrease a little bit density and increase scaling. Okay, we can preview some on the screen. To work with these effectors, you can add them by going on your left bar, and you notice right here we have a kind of arrow. It means if we right click, we extend it, we have it ventilators and we have it particle effectors. So let's go first look on ventilator, and you notice I'm just creating right here. Okay, so next going to do, it's going to take my ventilator, rotate, let's reposition. And here's kind of interesting. If you can, right here from the top, you can see first when we start working, it's nothing changed. So we see the particles just same moving. To enable for the ventilators, we actually need to go inside and enable effect particles. You notice right here we have effect ecosystem and effect particle systems. So next, when we start moving, you can see how the ventilator is now affecting, blowing away those particles. You can use this effect when you want maybe snow falling. You can specify for the snow angle, but also you can create some interesting wind effect with these particles. Or for example, when I created leaves effect, falling leaves, to add additional effect, you can add a ventilator and blowing those leaves away from the tree. Okay, so next, this is just a ventilator. Let's go back. It's straightforward options for the ventilator, and again, if you can check options in object browser where we have it intensity, cutoff, profile, spread, fallout. It very simple. You can have a choice between omnidirectional or directed, and for this one we'll use directed. You can use omnidirecting, but put it, for example, more in the middle of the particles, and you can see just blowing them away from this area. Okay, so let's delete our ventilator. We don't need it right now. Next, we're going to create effectors. The one thing when you notice we create effector, it's creating kind of cube, and this is a represent area of where the particles will be more effect. Again, this is set also with fallout, so it won't have the hard line kind of cut if you set. So I'll go and put right here. By default, the effectors doesn't do anything, so it's blank. It's kind of nothing there. I'm going to right click and going to edit this object. You notice right here we have effects that we can add and adjust different effects, and below we have a threshold. So I'm currently disabled threshold. It's how much the side will affecting. I want just for the better observe, I just want C without the threshold. Let's go ahead and add, and we'll go start, for example, with just a tornado because it will be a little bit easy to see. We'll look on all of them. In tornado, you'll notice right here we have flow, angle of the wind string, and the height, and the wind string. So we'll go applied. You can see right here start kind of twisting. Let's pop up all these values. So we have a very massive heavy effect on this. Okay, you can see how they tornadoes start affecting, spinning our particles. Okay, again right here you can see. So they kind of nice effect. The one thing you notice, it's kind of propel them out. You can set those settings so they go bring in. And as example, if we're going, can we add, let's say, attractor? Which now what attractor will do, it's going and it's kind of bring to the middle. It's attract those particles right here in the middle. So if you want it, you can combine attractor with something else to create a different effect. So let's remove attractor. So we'll look spin. It will spin particles, and for example on a round it's kind of hard to see. You can see the kind of spinning, but it's more will apply if you combine spin, tornado, attractor, and for example let's put attractor on top. We can create a nice ecosystem trees going and have all this real tornado effect kind of with the spinning and all this. So you can see how you can manipulate with them. Okay, so let me remove these ones. Then next we also have it move, and move will kind of right here adjust and stop them in that place when we move. Okay, let's go delete it. We'll go next lower. Again on the side you can notice it is kind of lowering effect right to these particles. Again, the effect is stronger depend on how heavy is particle and some other additional options. So particles will affect as in a real physical world, but you can see it's kind of lowering a little bit more in this area. In this case, you can use this effector maybe to create some heavier area zones for some specific your imagination, whatever you desire to in this case. So let's go rise will be work differently. It's actually will accelerating rising, so you can see particles are kind of rising in this area in the middle. Okay, next we'll have jigger. So they're all kind of self-explanatory, and you can see how they're repositioning, adjusting. We also have it alignment on the grid. And that one a little bit better if we watch from the top. You can see how the realignment happening as they're going forward. Again, the nice things about these effectors, the same effectors work on normal ecosystem brush. So because this unique type of the particles for the view, which utilize same power of ecosystem, it's meaning you can apply all these effectors just to the ecosystem itself. And we have some tutorial about this, how you can use them. Okay, so we also have it lean. The lean probably won't be that visible much in the here, but okay, let's go magnet. Okay, let me delete the lean one. And it's when it's produced magnet, it's kind of pointing more effect when you're animating. So you can see my effector, obviously I can animate as going, so we can effect a little bit better. The animation, it's probably will prefer much better if you, for example, let's go add tornado. We'll just pop up a little bit higher on this. We'll go add also tractor, and let's add we don't want spin, tornado, move. Yeah, maybe you know what, spin. Let's add this one. Okay, so I have it right here, set key. Okay, we'll move to about 6, and move all the way here. So in this case, we can preview how our tornado going and pushing particles. Notice these particles on top, so I'm going to do just to have it a little bit up. Okay, and you can see we're going and affecting all these particles with our effectors. In the effectors, it's kind of straightforward. You just open, combine you want it, work on the properties of different effectors, and some of them as simple as increase flow. You can create fallout for globally for all of them, which is affect how much neighboring, how much kind of outside the area will affect as well, make this smoother. And then create these transitions. Okay, this is effectors and ventilators working with particles inside of VLA. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please remember visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.